down, cause failing's not an option, and dad is not a noun, not at all.
Welcome to another episode of Dad is Not a Noun. My name is Ishmael, changing the narrative for men of color and fatherhood, as well as changing the narrative on the things I care about. And today, what I care about is I have a returning champion back to the podcast. This beautiful black man that you see on your screen. He is an awesome father. He is an illustrator, and he has a Kickstarter that he is put out there for the people that he wants to let people know that it's out and you want to support. I have the one and only Ian Walker with me again, and he's gonna just bless us with like what's been going on with him since the last interview. Ian, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm doing good, doing great. A lot of good things happening, bro. And just right along this train called life. Yeah.
Definitely. And then I asked you the first question, but I'm gonna
Mhm.
ask you the second question. How is
Okay.
your heart?
How is my heart? Oh man, my heart is full, dude. It is full. It is very content and full. I would definitely say I've had a lot of blessings in the last year or two since the last time I was here. I just got married to a my wonderful bride, and who is extremely supportive of what I do and who I am. And trust me, somebody that I don't deserve her, but God's blessed me with allowing me to have her, and using her to make me a better man, and to express my creative side, to actually be my creative self, which was quite the journey for a while for me, and in turn doing the same for her, with each other. We're partners, and I got two new wonderful boys, my stepsons, and so we all one big family, man. It's got its struggles, of course, being born, marrying into a step family,
Yeah.
um, and you know those are things that are natural. But like I mentioned before, I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm Bible reader, live my life according to the scriptures. They're gonna have we're gonna have those issues, but as long as we follow Bible principles and we're able to just do what God asks us to do, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. And that's what it is right now. I'm doing fine, man. I'm doing fine, and I'm feeling, like I said, full and content, man. I couldn't ask for anything more, from God's undeserved kindness. You know what I mean? So that's where we're
Right,
at.
and it's awesome because you're definitely in a better place than you were before. Because I know from the last conversation we had, like
Mhm.
if any people out there that's listening now want to hear his story, I'm gonna put the link in the description below for my last interview, which was a powerful interview. He was, vulnerable, open, transparent. So that's gonna be there for you to watch. But this transformation, where, like you said, you're happily, you're married, but when was that transformation for you? When did that transformation start from you for you?
It began, I would say, when I moved out of California, went to Alabama for a few months with my folks. Had to recharge, needed to reset my life. Um, and it was actually in the midst of that time where I met my now current wife, and we're communicating. I'm actually in Texas right now. That's where she lived because I'm old school. I go to my wife. Unless I lived in California. I mean, unless you lived in
Right.
California, I'd be like, "Girl, you need to come over here." But no, it was. But, but I was already over there, so I came to her, and you know, uh, and did that, and but it was seeing what kind of person she was, and when she doesn't know this, she may listen to this later, but I knew she was it for me on the first time that we met. She looked at me in a way that no one, and I mean no one, has ever, not even my own mama, looked at me before.
Wow.
She just exuded just love, and that was something that I needed, and the kind of love that I was missing. There's a difference between having love from your friends and family, your parents, even your children, but that romantic love, that eros, that type of love was something that was sorely missing, sorely lacking. And it's funny because right before I met her, dude, I was about to be like, you know what, I'm content, I'm good, I'm done with this life. These girls are nothing. I don't need them and they don't need me. And so I was about to just, create, create this, create a life on my own and just learn to be
Wow.
content with what I had and do the best I could to create and do that. The possibility of staying in Alabama was there. Um, but with upon meeting her for the first time and seeing her face and how she just lights up. I'm very happy when she's around, and I feel a lot of comfort when she's around. I really like her as a person. Really, it's really important. I'm gonna tell y'all now. It's very important to like the person you are with, and that you are married to, because you can love somebody, but you can also not like them very much. It's very possible. But the amount of love to show is not there like it needs to be. But my wife, I really like her as a person. I like who she is. She's extremely sweet, very traditional, which is a wonderful breath of fresh air. Um, my wife is a Latino woman, so she's got those family values that are strongly entrenched. She's a very nice balance.
Right.
She she's got an opinion, which I want. I need a little bit of fight. You know, um, I don't want to push over, roll over. Nobody. I'm not no
Yeah.
machismo. I'm not that guy. Get a little something, but she's an incredible teammate, and we're learning together, and we're building together, and we're learning each other, and it's just been a great journey. And like I said, she's someone that's allowed me to be the person that I am and be the artist that I am.
Right.
Even though she doesn't understand it quite fully, she
Right.
knows and recognizes that, what she recognizes and sees that without it, she can't have all of me or the full aspect of who I am without it.
Right.
And so she appreciates it, and she actually encourages me along. She kicks my butt. Hey, I noticed you haven't been streaming for a while. What's going on? Hey, I know. Are you going to draw this for me? What are you going to do? What are we doing? So it's great to. And the last time I talked to you about that, I said that's what I want. That person that'll push me. I got her. So it's cool. Man, full and content, bro. Full and content. And I got my sons too. My 2 new sons that look at me and see everything that I do, and they're very intrigued by the things that I do. We're learning to get to know each other as well, and all that, and it's again, we're building, we're doing a lot of building. It's going well.
And that's awesome to hear, man. And I think that's the power of just letting go, breaking down those walls, and you never know until you actually, you know, put your feet in the water entirely. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's a great thing that you're in that great position. I love how this transformation is occurring with you, and I love how you found your wife, and you're a stepdad now. But talk about how's your relationship with your biological son with Jack. How's that going?
Oh, that's going good. Let's see, he on the cusp of becoming grown now. So he's got a job now. He's working for a living. He's learning the value of getting his own things and earning his own money. I was that type of dad who didn't buy things for my son because when he was already kind of bought a lot of stuff already, but I wanted him to learn too the value of earning things himself. If I saw that he really wanted something, he was going to put effort into it by saving up money, doing whatever needed to be done. And he wouldn't know this, but but if he would do it, I would meet him halfway. I would contribute, but consider that his. But now that he's working, he understands. I talked to him. I'm like, hey man, so you got a job now. So how you feeling about all that stuff, bro? He's all, man, you know, yeah, I get what you mean. I was like, yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. So hear you. Like, so he has a good understanding of that. But we talk. He's not a phone guy, so I talk to him mostly. Say, hey, how you doing? Just tell you I love you. Just want you to be okay. How are you doing? How's things going? And he's just trying to get his life in gear, figuring out where he wants to go. He's not an artist like myself, but he's heavy into the sports thing. I like to say that he would be me if I was in the jock side, if I was in the sports. I'm a whole bunch and everything. Football is his sport, dude. So he come at me with stats and stuff like crazy, man. And you know how when you talk about stuff to your parents,
Right.
your eyes glaze over. That'd be me. I mean, I have my football teams and everything, but he'd be talking about salary caps and first round draft pick when they lose in the division. I'm sitting there like, so I don't know that stuff, man. I'm a nerd. I got soft hands. I draw. I don't know, I don't know what you talk about, bro. Uh, but yeah, that's his big thing. He's very interested in sports broadcasting, specifically
Okay.
football. So that's something that he wants to get into. I tried to tell him, I'm like, dude, you need to start a podcast. I said that's a head start. He's like, oh, I want to go to school for it and everything. I'm like, you nowadays don't need school. You start a podcast.
That's true.
I mean, I'm just, I mean, I guess there's some things he could learn in school, I guess, but what better teacher than real life experience, not hundreds of dollars of overpriced books, and unnecessary prerequisites that milk you of your cash in order for you to get a piece of paper that at the end of the day don't mean drink. um, I'm just saying, I said it. Y'all thought it. I said it.
No, I hear you on that, but the beauty of him like going through the different levels is like building that network.
Hmm.
And so when he graduates, at least he has his foot in the door,
Yeah.
depending on, like for example, if he want to do an internship, for example, with ESPN
Yeah.
or any of the other groups, at least going to school and doing, the different levels, at least will give him that opportunity just to build his resume. And most importantly, just build that network because that's the one thing. And no matter what work you're in or
Yeah.
what field you're in, it's about the people you know.
Who
Because
you
the
know?
people you know is going to put you in that better position.
Very true.
But but at the same time, so he because he used to draw, so
You
he
should,
put down the pen and the pad, drawing,
yeah.
illustrating with boys.
Yeah. He put it down. He's you know, he didn't take that side, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not upset about it. I don't, one of the things that was very important to me is I never uh tried to make him into a clone of myself
Right,
or push him towards the things that I like.
right,
Um, I showed him the things that I was into. I've showed him things that like to do all of that,
right,
and just left it there. If he gravitated and picked up on it, great. If he
right.
doesn't, he doesn't. So, and there's a lot of things that he has not picked up on. I'm the nerd dad that he's got, but he's, and got a different personality and different things that he's into. But I encourage that though. I encourage individuality. I want him to be his own person. He's a very, very good, well-rounded young man, and I'm proud of that young man, like every day. And as I've told you before, last time I was here on the podcast, he saved my life without knowing it. He's done quite a bit, and now he's growing up to be a very exceptional young man. So I'm hoping to try it again with the two new ones that I got, and we'll see where that goes.
And how's the relationship between your son and your two stepsons? How's that going?
The distance is a bit of an obstacle, to be honest, and that's going to happen in especially step families where there's two different households involved. Um, I try to encourage a lot of communication between them, but when he comes out and he's here visiting for a while. They do get along great, and he's definitely big bro. I mean, they look at him like, oh, like he's the greatest thing, man. And and he's getting used to it too, because he's an only child, and so having two younger brothers that look at him in this way, it's new to him. So he's like, oh, I mean, he does great with them. I mean, he's always done great with children, period. But in this capacity, it's a trip. But he is a really good big brother. I mean, it's funny. I'll tell my boys, my stepsons, what certain things, and hey, you need to try to be more like this. You need to do this.
Right.
Look at me like I'm crazy, like I don't know. I'm talking like I got three heads. I'm looking at, man. I'm trying. You hear me? And it
Right.
don't get through. But my son will say the same thing. He'll say the
Right.
same thing, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, well, because Jalen said," and so I was like, "I said that to you 3 weeks ago. Why is he saying?" You know, it's coming from an unbiased sort of source.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's and for them, like I said, he's big bro. So again, that's something I'm getting used to. Also, just kind of seeing that and just kind of letting him go. You know, with that. This last trip he was here, they got on each other's nerves, but he held it down and they got along.
Right.
Just fine. So it's good. It's good. They get along with him very well. They miss seeing him. They love having him around. They enjoy his company, and yeah, so it's good.
And what do your biological sons say to you that he sees that you're happy? Especially you found, your love and you're in a happy place. Like, what are your sons? What
Yeah,
is that conversation like?
he's always had my back in regards to finding someone. Um how he is with me and how the knowledge that he has regarding his mother and I's previous relationship. Um, he was always pretty worried about me. He's always worried about me, and he's always wanted me to find someone. So he's never been the type to be like, "Oh, you got a new person, you're jealous, you're gonna leave me." Nothing like that. He's always been like, "So, who's this? What are we doing? You know, you know, what's going on?" Um, he was one that didn't want me to be alone, you know, because he knew and could sense how sad I was, but um, and how how hard it was for me. Um, so he's always been fine with that. Um, you know, there was the first time he came, it was a little rough. Not not with him, but it was just a situation that happened. It was a little rough, and he was like, hmm. But the second time he came, he saw, and he was just like, okay, that's cool. So because he gets along with my wife great, she gets along with him. I'm trying to teach her not to treat him like a guest. I said, he's our son. Okay. He has to do chores too. He's got to pull his weight too. So it's kind of, it's again trying to find that balancing act for her and him. And again, he's getting used to her, getting to know who she is. But I think my son's biggest concern is just making sure that she's good for me, and he sees that, and he's happy about that. So far as she's told me, so far as I know. So yeah.
But real fast, what kind of advice can you give a dad out there when it comes to co-parenting? Because I know there's some struggles in co-parenting.
Patience, clear communication when necessary. And that necessary means when it has to do with your kids. I come from a different camp. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you should be friends with your ex for the sake of the child." There's a reason why we're not together. So, on a personal note, it's just me now. It's just me. Um, uh, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that my son knows that when it comes to him, his mother and I are still a team.
Right.
He was never allowed, I told you this last time too, he was never allowed to try to play us against each other. He was never allowed to disrespect his mother, because the number one rule in my house and in my mind was, you disrespect your mother, you're disrespecting me. Period. What my relationship is with his mother is none of his business, and ain't got nothing to do with him at all. He's not the cause of it. He's not the fault of it. Thus, it has nothing to do with him. So I wanted to make sure that the respect for his mother remained no matter what, because, like I said, she's an amazing mom. She's a great mother to him. She raised a great young man. She has him the majority of the time. And, him coming to see me and seeing what type of young man he is, she's done a great job. So I'm not going to allow her to be disrespected by my son or anything like that. I don't ever want to hear, I never allow, to hear you disrespecting your mom or treating her like trash or whatever. So when I do talk to him, I do ask him every once in a while, how's things going with you and your mom? You good? All right. How's things going with your stepdad? Everything's good? Okay. Because the one thing I instill, no matter what, is respect your mother. Period. I don't care what that is. You respect your mother, and you respect your stepfather too, because that's his wife. That's his wife. You don't go and disrespect another man's wife at all. And if he wants to square up and tag you for it, when you do that, think about what you're doing. But I'm personally making sure that never happens, because I am training my son to make sure that you don't disrespect your mother. And he's very cognizant and not, he does have a good amount of respect for me. And so he understands that. You disrespect your mother, you're disrespecting me. Now he's got two moms. So, it's double for him. And he's good on all. He's good on all fronts, man. He's good on all fronts. He does well. As far as my relationship with my ex-wife, it is only two. We only speak when it has to do with our son. And I think that's necessary. She has her life that she's leading, and she's raising him in her home how she sees fit. I do respect that, and I think that is something that, as co-parents, as parents, whether you're in a step family home or whatever, or just separated, it's hard, but you have to do that, and the child needs to understand that. Even though it's an unfortunate situation, you are in two different homes, two different environments, and now two different parenting styles. Because now you're no longer a team, so you're raising each one of you is going to be raising your kids the way you see fit, right? So it's going to be important to get that communication there, but for that child to have an understanding that, okay, when you're with your mom, cool, do what your mama did. Try to bring that over here, though. It's a completely different game. Whatever it is, I don't know how you talk to your mom at home, whatever, do that, don't bring that here. He knows not to try stuff with me. He will get shut down real fast. My biggest problem is I dare you. And that's all I have to say. I dare you. He's just, all right. I mean, it's just very simple, clear communication with your kids. Be patient with your exes, and be patient with your kids. Your kids are going to test and act out. The exes may. I'm very fortunate that my ex doesn't give me a lot of grief. But I know that there are some out there who have involved themselves with ex partners that make life difficult. No matter what you do, though, especially when the children are around, you keep your cool and be respectful. It's hard. It's hard. It's going to say stuff that's out of pocket, but you need to respect them. That goes from man and woman. Respect your partner when the kids are around. That's both sides. And when you get off the phone, don't go talking crap. Man, your mama get on my nerves. Man, I swear to God. Don't do that. That's not your child's business. They need to see that you both are a team when it comes to their well-being. Period. Anything that deviates from that is an opening for them to try things and make things a little difficult. So control narrative with their children. Now, if there's certain things as far as punishment is concerned, hopefully you guys can have that conversation and deal with it accordingly as parents need to. But the biggest thing, make sure your child knows that you are a team when it comes to their well-being. Period. And be patient on all fronts.
And I love